You have been served, right? If they actually think that I'm finna pay somebody 50 cents, 50 cents to get a cup of ice, oh, y'all about to be out of business. Let this be one of the 7-Eleven locations that's closing down. Send them back to their home and let them survive there. For real. Because that's greed to the max. And that's how the great God is going to see it. The great God is going to see that as greed. Because this is a continuation. Because that shit got me so mad. My shit just clicked off. But the great God is going to see that as greed. And the great God is going to rule against them. The great God is going to rule against them. What's this? Tacoma 7-Eleven. Yeah. The great God is going to rule against them. And the great God is going to transfer. Because they're on my indigenous ancestors' land. You feel what I'm saying? They making buku money from destruction. None of that shit they sell in there is real food. Let's just put that on the record, right? So it's not like they feeding people nutrition or some shit. It's all plastic fake food, right? Let me get across the street. It's all plastic fake food. Oh, sorry. No, I don't want to do that. It's all plastic fake food, and it's harming my nation. My nation's body rejects that food. It's GMO food. We're beings that are natural to this earth. We come from this earth. We ain't from no lab. It's hot. Shit, I gotta switch up because it's hot. Let's pause that. I'm gonna get on to the real topic, which is the devices of Satan that the very elect is gonna have to guard strongly during these timelines that you guys experience more of Satan on the earth, right? If it's more of great God on the earth, it's more of who on the earth too? Because this is a world of duality. That means it's more of Satan that's going to be on this earth too. That's law. So, next clip shall be about these devices of Satan. Man, because it's in your every area that you can think of. The devices of Satan are being used. Just like, the greed. You charging people 50 cents for ice? They have their own cup. All right, it's time for you to go back home and struggle. It's time for you to go back home and struggle. So again, that 7-Eleven, the acting operators, they're not owners. They don't own that property. They don't, and the reason why they don't own the property because they don't own the land. The great God, Universal Allah, owns the land. So they're evicted. They're officially evicted because I'm a divine prosecutor, and I'm bringing it before the great God. Great God, look what's going on here. Look what's going on here. They are generating lack and scarcity. It's enough water to go around for you to make some other MF and ice. how much profit, we're going to go into how much profit they're making, right? Who's making a profit and where we're going to see exactly where the money is going. If it's going towards the indigenous, the native, is it going towards the hoods where they're at? Most of 7-Elevens are. Where is it going? Or is it going back to their home land? So we'll find all that out, and adjustments will be made. When you transfer positive energy, when you remove positive energy from something, whether it be a person, a place, a situation, an operation, a thing, when you do that, so when you remove the pure positive life force energy from a person, place, situation, a thing, it could be an event, we can go back in timelines and transfer the positive energy from a seemingly old event. It's still stamped in time and space. It still holds an energetic signature. So we can go back in time, transfer the positive energy to where it rightfully belongs. And if you are promoting or generating lack, scarcity, poverty consciousness, then hey, rightfully so, by universal law, like attracts like. You will be summoned. You shall be summoned to a divine court hearing and transfer. Period. That's it. And then we get our shit back. And now this is the kicker, because any negative energy or fear-based energy that these vessels are holding, these vessels, the consciousnesses connected to I, vessel, and reality, or any realities that I shall choose, then we all get paid. We all get paid. Bitch, you better slow down, because you won't have a car or a home this time next month. It takes about 30 days to manifest someone's downfall, demise, destruction of something. It takes about, manifestation is generally about a 21 day or 30 day cycle, pretty much. It takes 21 days to program your reality through your subconscious mind. And now, since we're moving more towards light speed, it's actually happening so much quicker. That's what the great God, now you got to be careful, because that's both ways. You got to watch what you focusing on. You got to watch where you're putting your focus during this time, because the materialization from the spiritual to the physical is instant now. We are in an instant age. So it can be instant. The demise of your enemies, the demise of those who have stolen from you, it could be instant, literally. So that we keep hope, because we know that everything is moving towards light speed. So those that have been sowing good and sowing righteousness, that's why we keep the hope alive. We keep the faith alive, because we know that this is a time of instant reaping of whatever harvest that one has sown. So glory, honor, and praise to the great God, universal Allah, for that. Because for the very elect, to the chosen who? Well, not chosen by Satan. They had their turn. They had a lovely reign of terror. on this earth, right, guys? We're all testaments to that. Yeah. They had a lovely reign of terror, and now it's our turn to have our reign of terror. Let us have that peacefully. Take your universal initiations into letting go and detachment. Let go of my shit, bitch. Let go of my shit, bitch. Let it go. Let your body go. It's not real. Let your body go. It's not real. And what's this little nasty ass hot dog looking at? This is an op right here. I don't care if it's an animal vessel. I don't care if it's an animate or inanimate vessel. That does not matter. That does not matter when you're talking about the spiritual world. That's an op vessel. So look, you got to treat it accordingly. You can't be entertaining these vessels from the other nations because it's an animal, because it's one of their pets, or it's one of they. It's a little look like a little cute baby. It's a devil inside of there. If that DNA is hate against the great God, because look, y'all, if you had hate against the vessels of the great God, even though, yeah, we was a wicked and rebellious nation, we went off, right? Every nation has went into slavery, right? That's what the great God said. Every nation then went into slavery. And the European nation, they're in slavery right now. The same way people cannot, it's a lot of our nation don't even know. Our nation is out of slavery. The indigenous ancestors their consciousness is being risen from the dead. Death being separation from our law. Our nation couldn't experience the great God, universal Allah on this earth for how many years of slavery? It's still to this day. Most of my nation is in the ghettos. So they can't see the evidence that we're free. Same way you can't see the evidence that the Europeans in slavery. They got such a facade going on, a show, a circus, a sideboard, a sideboard, that sideboard. They got some smoke screens going on. Nothing they telling you is real. They're suffering. They're ready to go out here. Bitch, you ain't. This bitch wasn't even recording. So look, again, like it wasn't recording, but basically what I was saying was, hold on, hold it. Multitasking. Great God didn't tell the European nations to rape our men, women, and children. The great God merely warned us that if we continue to be a wicked and rebellious nation, that he would let our enemy take us into captivity. That captivity included the rape, the murder, and the torture, and the theft of the indigenous ancestors and their descendants, because it's still going on with the descendants. It's changed forms. The law of transmutation? I think it maybe. I don't know. I'm not a student. I just say things that great God tells me to say, and that runs by me, but I'm not an earth student. I don't watch individuals on YouTube that are teaching. The great God will have me review beings if it's information that I need to know, but I steer away from that because most of the earth information is regurgitated. It comes from someone else's consciousness. Most likely it wasn't that person that's teaching you. So they didn't have that experience. So they can't deliver the true consciousness of that person if they did not experience it. The only wisdom is experience. That's the only wisdom. So I can't qualify them as having divine wisdom if they have not actually experienced that for themselves. So I will not do myself a disservice and base my beliefs and my programming off of someone else's words. We'll just say words. Because we already know that when any civilization or empire is being destroyed, all of the truth has to get destroyed. So who's to say that any of this stuff that people are talking about online is actually verifiable truth according to the records of the great God Universal Allah? So I steer away from. That's another way that the very elect, the great God said, the very elect are going to be deceived. Instead of listening to people's real-time personal experiences, which is their wisdom, they're listening to people teach other people's experiences or doctrines or information. If it's not the great God, the great God's information, then it's subject to error. Period. It's subject to error. So the great God said that's how a lot of the very elect shall be deceived as well. Because you got to remember, if that's your favorite teacher, they have a frequency vibration, right? And if you have an ear gate, right, and you're relying on them for learning instead of letting the great God put you through these classes, these earth classes, which earth is just to take classes and just to learn lessons. So if you're negating that and listening to someone else's wisdom, not their wisdom if they haven't experienced it, but if you're either listening to their, whatever they have to say, you're embodying their frequency vibration. That's how most of the very elect, all of the very elect are infiltrated. Because the information is going in your ear gate, the vibration is going in your ear gate. Your ear gate is a portal. It's allowing a frequency vibration in. Now, if that person is inauthentic and they haven't actually gone through that experience, that lesson, and gained the wisdom their self, they're not qualified. They're not qualified to. It's an inauthentic frequency. It's not an authentic frequency. So you are absorbing low frequency. That's what the great God said. That's how the great God said a lot of the very elect shall be deceived. Now again, these smoke screens that the European nation and all the other nations that were set against the melanated, the native, the indigenous, you see them on the indigenous land. They're all in cahoots. They are all thriving in business and capitalism, commercialism, consumerism, and commerce, and booty and prize right here on the indigenous ancestors' land. And the great God said, no more. This is being balanced. If it comes to it, continuing squatting shall result in natural disaster. Natural disaster, that could be disease, that could be, actual natural disasters from Earth. Because this has to be balanced, where we have been kept away from the knowledge of our true selves, which That's our divinity, which allows you to prosper and be abundant in the earth. We have been kept away from that. And this is the age where we're in the great shift. We shifted from the age of being subjected to great poverty through the age of Pisces, 1% having dominion over the earth, to us we're now in the age of Aquarius, a positive polarity age where anyone that can come into the knowledge of self, lower self and higher self, right? Well, they too can prosper. They too can come out of the curses and prosper. Divine transfer, divine transfer, divine transfer. To any enemies against my love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, against my divinity, divine transfer to any of those enemies that I choose multidimensionally. You have things that you have constructs that come in your view to infiltrate your peace, because that's against my consciousness. I don't want to see nothing like that rolling by me. I don't want to see no evil spirits rolling by me like that. And it had nothing to do with the outside construct. I know, I can sense, I can feel an evil spirit in my presence. So when evil spirits and they want to cast spells to your vision, you know, when you're looking in a particular direction and a devil will bring a vessel in your focus and your concentration where you're delivering life, a lot of times it's a curse. It's a projection, and it's a curse being casted to your spiritual vision center, because that energy has to touch yours as if it's coming too close to you, right? So we have to speak these things. We got to speak against these things so that they do not take seat in our consciousness. And I do that on a continual, daily renewal basis, all of the time. Divine transfer, all melanin being extracted from any of my nation, from the other nations, in the form of relationships, business, divine, etc., that I record, or any of the divinely connected to I vessel consciousness reality multidimensionally, there shall be a divine transfer for that as well. Because these are divine petitions that I have already put up to the great God. So carry on, people. Carry on with life. It's a beautiful time. But don't fall for the smoke screens. That this European is fine. They are cursed. Their nation is officially cursed. They are officially experiencing the curses that Satan have binded them to. Satan binded them to these curses that my nation experienced when Satan had their vessels, used their vessels for rape, torture, murder, and torment of indigenous ancestors and descendants. Because quite frankly, the great God just warned us. I don't know if my video cut off, so I'll say it again. But the great God warned us, you wicked and rebellious nation, if you continue to be wicked and rebellious against the great God, universal Allah, I will let your enemies take you into captivity. The great God called them our enemies. The great God called them our enemies. So why are we treating them like friends? Why are we treating them like lovers? Why are we treating them like they care about us or our souls? I will not be guilty of that, because if anyone is engaging in those types of conspirator crimes against humanity, you shall be named as conspirators with them for your judgment time. Now it's going, again, the great God said it will be worse. Because to whom much is given, much is required. That's law. The great God gave you way more melanin for you to understand what this is about. You have way more melanin, life force, energy. I don't care if they stole it or not. You have way more in your heart. That you will pay way more than that nation that you are supporting, that the nation that hates you that you're supporting, because it's in their DNA. The truth is the truth. We are in the age of divine truth. We are in the age of divine truth. We are in the age of divine truth. This is the age of Aquarius. If the hatred is in their DNA, then they vibrate at the frequency, they oscillate at the frequency of hate. I don't care how much they suppress it. That's what the purge was about. Divine court hearing and transfer. All of the purges, purge productions, and all involved from the Synagogue of Satan, Hollywood, Hollyweird, all involved. This also includes the spiritual wickedness in the higher dimensions and any other dimension involved in the purge productions. Cast it to millions and millions and millions of humanity, cast it to their spiritual vision center, their pineal gland, their third eye. So this is a official on the record divine court hearing and petition. Now how this plays out, we do not worry about that. When you're talking about the law of manifestation, you call it as it is and you let it go. You don't worry about the house. That's the great God. This is the great God Universal Allah show. You don't worry about the how. This is how patience is produced within us. This is how patience is produced within us. When you have to wait, when you got to wait on the downfall of your enemy, man, you know how much MF's blood just be sitting there boiling. This produces patience. We have to sit through this process without losing our soul. Because if you give into the hate, you're going to see many displays of acts of hate in the physical. One big reason is because of the suppression of our free speech, divine court hearing and transfer. Because when people can release those vibrations out through speech, like, I hate you, bitch. I fucking hate you. You swine, you swine dog, human dog. I hate you. Like, when you can get that out freely without, oh, they're gonna cancel me. Oh, they gonna cancel me. I don't give a what y'all gonna cancel. Y'all not gonna, anybody try to cancel my vessel, all operations are getting canceled. Period. All operations are getting canceled. This is around the four corners of the earth, because this is I-Earth. A new earth, age of Aquarius. Anybody censoring my free speech, any way that I choose to communicate or tell a story or animate things, divine court hearing transfer, divine eviction notices are being executed around the world right now. So carry on, people. This is a depopulation agenda right here. Carry on. We're not gonna get too mad. We're not gonna get too mad at it, right? We're not gonna get too mad at it, because we know that every violation equals a termination, right? Oh, what you? How dare you fall? We're not gonna get. See, look, the great God want us. This is to the very elect, to the chosen, right? The great God want us on some stuff like, hey man, y'all get the last laugh. Relax. Relax. Have fun with this. Have fun with this. Y'all get the last laugh. Any violations equal terminations. Bismillah infinity. Say that to yourself. This the very elect to the chosen. Say that to yourself. Now, before you say that, you have to remove the injustice from your programming. You have to remove the injustice from your programming for you to get to that consciousness where that will be an instant manifestation for you. We're not looking for instant manifestations of fiat money or no material possessions. All right, instantly, I want all hatred that's been casted upon my vessel by every other nation, my whole incarnation, and anything of the all that's connected to me multidimensionally, including the indigenous ancestors. I want it all removed in an instant. See, once you remove all the negative polarity, you're right in alignment with abundance. You don't need to pray for material possessions or any of that, because once you remove the negative blocks like anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, poverty is just a byproduct, but all of these negative emotions are the only blocks to your love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, your abundance and prosperity on the earth. So once you remove all of these negative, that's what we're supposed to be. That's what the great God wants us putting all of our life force energy into removing the negatives. So that, boom, one day we're right there. We're right there. And once we remove everything, boom, we're right there in alignment with our divinity. Our divinity includes abundance. Oh, okay, now the great God can give you any amount of money that you shall need to do the divine will of the great God. That's it. Look, this is what I be talking about. Like, look, play to win. That's how you play to win in this game. This game of life, to live in the age of Aquarius. This is how you play. You don't play the old way. You play the old ways with the old rules, and your soul is going to be literally snatched and transported to Gehenna. Look, you had a lot of humanity playing that lack and scarcity game. When the 1%, right? The 1% chosen by Satan to have dominion during the age of Pisces said, you either get this foreign matter injected into the largest organ on your skin, the largest organ in your body. You either get this, the transmitter and receiver from the universal cosmic energies of the negative and positive polarity. You either inject this foreign matter into your largest organ on the only vessel that the great God, Universal Allah, gave you, or you don't work anymore. And then they told you a few hours. Then they told you a few years after that. Hi. Hello. I'm recording. I will come back. I'm sorry. Maybe. Bismillah. Because they be trying to get you on contracts. Don't ever tell somebody you're going to do something. And if you do, you change it up with your mouth or your mind to the universe, so that entity cannot take that contract and bind you to that in a legal proceeding. I stress that. I don't let these devils try to manipulate me with their mind power and guilt trips. Please, they really gonna be begging. They're gonna be begging for your life force energy everywhere. Please, brains. Please, I need brains. Please. This is the name of the game. But they gotta form that connection. They have to form that connection, right? Because you got a cord, you got a vocal cord, right? You got a vocal cord every time you speak to somebody. It's a cord that gets hooked in the energy realm. That's why it's called a vocal cord, right? There will be some times where you just do not want to form any hooks or cords. There was a time before the divinity where a MF will be standing right in front of me. And I don't recommend this necessarily in this timeline because these demons are so sensitive. They're killing people over just rejection because their emotions can't take the rejection. So I don't recommend this in this timeline, but there was a timeline where someone would stand in my face and I knew an entity was using their vessel and I would act like they were not. I would act like they were a ghost and they were not there. I would not form any vocal cord to them. How you doing, ma'am? Now it's more of a detriment to that entity for me to speak to it. So now the great God said, use your voice. But there's a time where you want to go stealth. You want to go completely stealth. Because those entities, they will take your vibration and they will use it to plot and plan. They could use it to plot and plan against you. They could use it to all types of things that they can do. So we got to be aware of this. Pardon me, folks. Okay. So now, like I said, now it's more, all right, you got it. Now it's way more detrimental for someone like myself to do a vocal exchange. You got what I'm saying? Then not. So now it's appropriate. It may not be appropriate for you to do that during that timeline. So, how much is that, honey? $7.71. Appreciate it. So that's why the great God is saying, even the very elect shall be deceived. Because and the great God told us, like, you got to be wise as a serpent to know what is appropriate at what timeline. Certain things that you did at one timeline is going to be detrimental during another timeline. And you have to be aware of that. All around the board, you got to be aware of that. Look, you want to walk in my path? You getting ran over. Whoever. Divine transfer from that vessel. If I sense any disrespect from any vessels in my vicinity, it's a divine transfer from that vessel. They'll see on their next life, not their next life cycle. They'll see on their next cycle the result. What happens when you remove, not you, but when a great God removes a divine mass of positive energy from every area of your life because you want to be wicked towards the servant, the slave of the great God, then guess what? You're going to see it. You're going to see it in real time. What the law of cause and effect is of having such a large amount of positive energy removed from your reality and your consciousness and transferred to other vessels. Because this is the law of exchange, right? Is that a law? I don't know. I'm making that up. I don't know. It sounds good. Sounds like a law of exchange or something. All right, if I take your positive energy, then I got to give you the negative energy from somewhere, right? And that's what's happening. You mess around over here in this operation. That's what's happening. Hi. shit, I said I'll come back. I ain't say when. I might come back next year. Talking to that business owner, because they be dang stalking people to come over and try to buy something. God, really. So, look. So why y'all got all this thing and I can't play over here? And I ain't gonna take his word. Because these entities, they're all, listen, they already know who you are. So everything that they have to do, it has to be to get you in extremely low frequencies. That includes lying for over the smallest things. You ask them a question, a person's entities, they're gonna lie to you to an attempt to steal your pure positive life force energy. That's all. That's the name of the game. If I lie to you and, mess your shit up, whatever, just distract your day. I've siphoned a portion of your positive energy. I'm fed. This is the consciousness of an entity. And that's why they must be terminated, because you will have no peace. You will have no peace if it's up to them. You will have no peace if it's up to them. So, oh, guys, let me get something to drink. Again, what was he talking about? Oh yeah, it's like, that's what the great God wants us putting all our life force energy into. Manifesting your divinity. You don't. If you manifest your divinity, you don't have to, try to manifest material things. Because if you are not at your divinity and you get these things, everything is still going to result to a low frequency. That's just what it is. That's why the great God won't bestow wealth to most of our nation, because our nation doesn't have the training, doesn't have the consciousness to do, to uplift humanity with it. If the great God gives you wealth, physical wealth, then you are expected to have a heart to only want to uplift humanity. And if not, it would only be a detriment. It would only be a detriment, or it would only be used for lower self purposes. So again, multitasking. One day I'll have a team to be able to just cut out the ascension tips. And if anyone chooses to listen, if they so desire to listen to ranting, they could, but it won't be necessary. They could just get the meat and potatoes. But I don't have that ability just at this time and space. But that is a timeline. So we carry on. Great God said it's going to be the ones that's around you that's going to try to destroy you. It's going to be the ones closest to you. Because if you are of the very elect, most likely you've been targeted by Satan your whole life. If you're the very elect to the chosen, you've been targeted by Satan your whole life. So most likely you have a certain amount of guards already up that don't allow individuals in anyway. So Satan going to use the vessels that's closest to you that's operating on an extremely low frequency. Oh, can't even sit down because of these bees. Feel what I'm saying? Don't you? Well, I was walking before you, so I think I had it in my mind before you to sit here.
Oh, very much so. Oh, very much so.
I'm the leader. So, guys, this is the thing. Satan is going to use the vessels that are right in your vicinity, that is closest to you, through the form of family, friends, bosses, colleagues, beings like that think they're entitled to a seat where I was clearly before you, and I'm clearly, if I'm walking before you, why are you telling me you were going to sit here? Because these pale skins, they feel entitled to my ancestors' land, and it's ridiculous. Get on with that shit. Go sit somewhere else. That's how you got to talk to these devils. Go sit somewhere else. Like, you stupid. You wouldn't have even opened up your mouth because now you just got your divine eviction notice. You can't sit nowhere on this earth. Go execute a divine executive order eviction notice to that vessel, whoever that is, in all time and space. As if now one of our nation that is dealing with self-hatred and self-acceptance and validation issues, they probably would have, here, you wanted the seat, here, master, go ahead, take my seat, Rosa Parks, go ahead. They'd have been on that. I'm not cooning like you, you devils. I'm not cooning like you. I don't want nothing from them. They are beneath me, and that's on the record. I don't want nothing from them. They are beneath me. She should have been asking to sit at my feet to listen what the great God had to say about them. That's what she should have been doing. But she wanted to tell me that she was going to sit where I went to go sit. And I'm before the MF. I'm walking before her. She's following me. And has the audacity to walk up and tell me she was going to sit where I came and sat down to deliver the word of the great God. This is the entitlement of the pale skinned nations. And that's why they gotta go. If they are not in alignment with uplifting the indigenous, the native, in real time, I don't want your apologies. I don't want no sorries. I don't want your apologies. We want reparations. And I ain't talking about from the reparations that everybody else is talking about. I'm talking about the reparations you repent. First of all, I don't want no reparations without the acknowledgement of what your ancestors did to my indigenous native ancestors. That's where reparations begins. If that's not in the equation, there are no reparations. Nobody cares about this material stuff that's about to go back to dust. People that focus on the material world for their life, they are going to be the ones doing the purging. That they showed in the movie. They're going to be the ones because they're going all of that resentment. Oh, I gave my life to the wrong cause. I gave my life to the wrong thing. All of that resentment and self-hatred and regret and remorse is going to cause them to do violent things, whether they do it to themselves or to others. And stay away from unfulfilled people. They are the most dangerous. The most dangerous individuals. Stay away from people that are putting all of their focus into the physical world, because they're going to be depleted and they're going to come looking for your pure positive life force energy. And it's not going to be a fair exchange. It's not going to be a fair exchange. And that's why the great God is saying the ones that's closest to you, they are going to be your greatest downfall. They are going to be your greatest enemy if you allow. I would have already been destroyed with the vessel that I'm around currently. I would have already been destroyed if I was not a master at transmutation. Everything this motherfucker throw at me, I transmute and I just raise in frequency instantly. Because I know all the tricks of Satan. I know all the tricks of Satan. So the high level entities using his vessel, because this is a cosmic sibling, a cosmic sibling through adoption. It's one. Anyone that you come across in your physical reality is a reflection of your soul essence. Whatever is in your soul, they are a reflection of. Like with that situation with that woman coming behind me when I come to sit down, she basically came up to me and said she was gonna sit here. I wasn't talking to her vessel. I'm talking to that entity. That was an entity communicating to me through her vessel. I let that entity know, like, in a very most respectful way, as respectful as it can get, because I can get a lot more wrathful and rageful at that shit, because that's deception. I don't play with deception in my face like that. Don't play in my face like that. That what she brought to me, that was deception. Don't ever come and tell me what you was gonna do if I already did it. I don't give a shit. I did it first. So I'm letting her entity know. I'm letting her entity know I did it first. Get out of here with that shit and go tell your friends. These devils, they don't stop. And it be little shit like that. It be little shit like that. Where they try to get under your skin. They try to form a cord, right? A cord of contact. And they want to get under your skin. Like, what the fuck are you telling me you was going to sit here for? We're outside. We're outside. We're outside. Many seats. There's seats all around here. There's seats all around, all and through here. Nobody's sitting down out here. And you want to follow after me. And when you see me sitting down, you want to tell me you were sitting down here? That's an entity. We got to realize that. Because all deception in that interaction, we got to call our divine court hearings and transfers. And we have to call it as it is. We are gods. By now, we should have the divine authority. Any deception with that entity, first of all, any entity is working through that vessel, that approach that came up to me while I'm talking about the gospel. Arrest, capture, contain, incarcerate, incinerate, castrate, and then cast into the great God universal Allah's lake of fire for the divine amount of time in Gehenna, sentence the weeping and gnashing of the teeth, until all iniquities against the great God universal Allah are burned off. Or transfer it to wherever it rightfully can go. You know anybody that has deceived you? Consciously deceived you? That needs to learn the lesson? Divine transfer. Multi-dimensional too. Transfer all the deception that vessel try to transfer to my reality, transfer it back to all of its ancestors multidimensionally. We have to be doing these things on a continual renewal basis until the end of this thing. Or else these entities, they're going to be taking little bits and pieces all throughout the day. of your pure positive life force energy. I'm constantly transmuting. I'm constantly transmuting. You ain't getting away with shit over here. Just know that. You ain't getting away with shit. Because the great God is using, the great God is warning us that these things shall be happening. When you're at a time where Satan has officially been bankrupt. When the sins of the world reach the throne of heaven, the great God rule divine order on earth. Boom, we shifted into a new age of Aquarius. The positive polarity age we shifted into. That vessel that came up to me, I feel a lot of my ancestors' trauma is leaving out of my vessel, is going towards that vessel. So that's why the great God is telling us, you know, don't sweat this small stuff. Get it out one good time and let it go to where it belongs. Let the deception or whatever it is go where it belongs. Don't get mad with others. Don't show anger with others. Just get even. Right? Because if you show anger with others, they can show anger back. And then you can lose pure positive life force energy from negative situations that these entities want to create with you. I'm coming more and more into my divine mind, being able to laugh in these entities' faces. And that's basically why I talked to her in a dumbed down manner that I did. Cause it's in me. I got the wrath of Allah in me. I can be like, what the bitch? What are you saying right now? Look around. I mean, I could have just schooled her or whatever, but the great God doesn't want us even engaging with the satanic world like that, because the entities are just hopping in and out of vessels and just looking for an energy grab. And the more we can be conscious and aware of this, the less we will fall into these ensnarements. And I'm learning this. I'm learning this just like everyone else is going to be learning this. I'm learning this because I got multiple planets in Aries. That's a fire element. In a communication planet such as my Mercury, and in my action planet such as Mars. So I'm always ready to go from 0 to 1,000 in an instant. But the great God is telling us, is warning us to not participate in those games. Because we're gonna need mercy. You're gonna need mercy and grace if you do participate in those games. Because the entity is not the vessel, it's not the human vessel that's doing it, it's the entity. The entities are coming from other dimensions. They just go for joy rides. The same way a physical person would jump in a vehicle, a automobile vehicle, they would jump in it, hack it, start it up and drive off. That's what these entities are doing in human bodies. They can literally hone in at your pure positive life force energy. Like it's food. It's because it's food to them. It's food to them. It's like if you were hungry and you saw a food truck or a food stand way down the way, and like you haven't had anything to eat in how long. Because a lot of these entities are coming from the lowest dimensions of Gehenna. They've been starved because they was in weeping and gnashing of the teeth. And the great God, is allowing these entities through portals here on earth to be judged right now. This is judgment time on earth. It's because It's a culmination. Every thought, word, and deed created from the age of Pisces is being judged and neutralized. It's being judged and neutralized to 0 point, because that is how you get to an earth that is operating out of divine order. You have to remove all of the fear that was created. Has to come up during the Great Tribulation. Like they describe in, these scenes that they describe in The Purge. And it's not a far off reality, because there is a person, individual on YouTube right now that they dedicate their channel to showing purge like states that are going on right now. They're showing like 20, sometimes almost I would say almost 100 people. It kind of looks like the purge from the video cameras when they're looting in those stores. And they was talking about the home invasion, them just making it legal, them invading millionaires' homes. The guy does videos directly to that. I don't know what type of trashy ass music that was, but I don't take anything as a coincidence. Any interruptions to the delivery of the great God, universal Allah's consciousness, divine transfer, divine court hearing, and divine transfer. So listen, the same way the wicked ones need vessels to sacrifice, we need vessels. The way that we sacrifice vessels, any vessel that I deem worthy, they shall be subject to a divine transfer of negative energy from I, vessel consciousness, I reality, any reality that I, divine self, chooses multidimensionally, plus that of the all that is connected to I, infinity, multidimensionally, shall be transferred to. So it shall leave us, it shall transfer to any vessels in violation of I, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. That's it. So again, I had to, every day that I wake up, I have to be, if I'm around an extremely low frequency vessel, I have to understand that their entities have already been planning with the spiritual wickedness in the higher dimensions of how to steal from me, steal my pure positive life force energy, a destiny swap, and steal my my life, my soul, right? I have to be aware of that. It is what it was today. It is what it was today. The individual that I am sharing space with at this time, operating on extremely low frequencies, but nonetheless is still a cosmic sibling. Would I have already lost my soul if I was not a master of transmutation? Absolutely, because again, if you are a high level, any polarity that you come across in your physical reality, they are high level as well. They're just high level on your polarity. The great God wants us to be one. I had my mind focused from when I got up, and this individual's entities were getting them to try to do deals with me immediately upon waking. Oh, you want to buy this used car? I'm literally up here looking at $1 million yachts. I'm doing like visualizations and stuff. I'm looking at $1 million yachts, right? And listening to the business, like about business people. This MFer is, I'm up in the top bunk, and this MFer is in the front seat looking at used cars, all used Chevy, like Chevy trucks, like all used cars. Is that not a polarity exchange interaction right there? And how I knew it was exceptionally evil, because this individual kept, all right, it's fine if you want to look at that, but they kept trying to plant that in my reality. What they're doing, they're looking for a used old car. Car can't be more than what, $2,000. That's probably what they had to even spend on it. Probably couldn't be more than $2,000. They're looking for a $2,000 car while I'm looking at $1 million yachts and listening to high-end business people. These are your devils, and continually was implanting in my consciousness. Do I want to buy a car today? Do I want to buy a car today? Do I want to buy a car today? And I'm not forming a chord with this person, but I'm like putting my hand up, like hold on, I'm doing something, and just tuning them out, and they proceed to get louder and louder with the suggestions of, do I want to buy this used car today? Do I want to buy it? We can buy it right now. Are you going to drive it? I'm not gonna be able to drive it because I have to drive this big truck. But if I buy this car today, are you going to drive it? This is what they're trying to push into my consciousness while I'm looking at $1 million yachts and listening to high-end, high profile business information online. Like, this is what Satan does. Because, my blood started boiling. Like, are you kidding me right now? But I wasn't saying nothing like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like, or I wasn't saying nothing like, I didn't even tell the person what I was doing. I didn't even tell the person, like, I'm sitting up here looking at this and that and listening and this and that. Can you stop? I just said, I have spiritual business. I had to eventually say it because they wouldn't stop pushing it on to me. So I had to let them know, like, I cannot tend to anything like that today. I'm tending to spiritual business, which that spiritual, positive, positive focus and visualization, that's spiritual business. It takes spiritual energy. You have to be in a positive to do that. It's not going to help if you're manifesting with negative emotions, because those manifestations are going to be negative. So this is what this vessel is acting as a sabotaging agent, right? Being used by Satan as a sabotage agent. And uh, I'm seeing it for what it is. And all right, I put on my Rukia right away. All right, this is a stubborn and arrogant jinn that's communicating through this vessel. And that's the Rukia that I turned on to the max volume. And as well, I put in my earbuds with the Dr. Virtual 7 track of the Dissolving Negative Hate Thought Energy. I did those two things, and the entity quieted instantly. That entity quieted instantly. Because I didn't want to have to get negative. Because a lot of times you'll generally have to look. It's slaughter season. You'll have to get real out of your emotional character to quiet these jinn that are out here today. These jinns, you're gonna have to get down and dirty. You're gonna have to physically silence these things. They are that stubborn and arrogant. So that quieted that jinn, that entity, and um I had to do that, and I had to just walk away. I had to just leave the vicinity. And a lot of us, the very elect to the chosen, you're gonna have to leave. The great God is saying you're gonna have to leave these extremely low frequencies, because they're not the entities in them are not gonna let you have peace. They're not. They're not gonna let you have peace. They're not gonna let you get your abundance. They're not gonna let you live. So you're gonna have to leave. You're gonna have to either dominate them and bring them under your control. That's why I did I did a court hearing. I did a transfer with. This was actually last night. I did it. And the reason why I did it is because I'm coming up as a chosen by the positive polarity, chosen by the great God, universal Allah, but also directly chosen from these celestial beings of the positive polarity. Um, Being an earth angel, we don't really get down and dirty per se in this dimension. Our nature is zen, is peace, is positive, right? But these entities that is coming through these portals, they are of the lowest form of evil that's coming through. It's gonna get more and more wicked. The great God already said that the wickedness on earth shall increase. We can't be too high in frequency and dealing with that here. So that's why I did the divine court hearing and petition for the great gods to cast one of my characters as the mother of vampires, so that I can dominate, so that I can subdue, control, and dominate the evil forces that are here, and there's greater evil forces that are coming here. That's according to the great God. The more the great God, universal Allah, comes on this planet, on this earth, the polarity got to come too. It's operating simultaneously. So you the very elect to the chosen, earth angels. You have to have arsenals. You have to have your weapons. You have to have your tools. You have to have your characters to subdue, control, and manipulate these evil forces. See, you have to. You have to get them to work in your favor. Emotions can't be involved in that. You have to, because they want your emotions. Your emotions are your energy, your pure positive life force energy, or it could be your negative energy. Its emotion is moving, because negative energy, it feeds them. If they can just make you negative, right? They can then, it's a cord that's formed, and they do that cord, they just siphon the positive energy to them, and they have ate a meal off of you. And that was the name of the game of the 1% chosen by Satan, the age of Pisces. And that's why we're here to collect. That's it. All's fair in love and war, right? All is fair in love and war. Infinity. I ain't playing with you devils. The great God has granted me the ability to, at an instant, take on the consciousness of a vampire from the lower dimensions, from the underworlds, from the lower dimensions, take on that real consciousness and understand, so I can understand the consciousness of how these vampires that commit crimes against humanity, to understand how they operate, understand how they do it, what they do, get and transferring the powers of a vampire. We'll be requesting, petitioning for more characters. I hope to next. I hope to petition for either a dragon or a werewolf. So stay tuned. But yeah, the great God is saying it's gonna be the ones closest to you. That's why we're in a time, the great divide. What is that? Separating the wheat from the tares. You're gonna have tares in your family, in your bloodline, because your only family is your frequency. Yahushua said that. Yahushua said that. Only those that do the will of the great God, universal Allah, are my mother, my father, my brother, my sister. Your family, your only family is your frequency. That's it. Those of your soul monad, of your consciousness, to do the divine will of the great God, universal Allah on earth. That is your family. So, I'm gonna pause this to see if there's anything else that I may need to put out there. I don't know. Don't ever take an entity's word. I asked this dude, do they have any stores? Any stores in this mall that like sell like lottery tickets and stuff? Oh no. And he was lying because I just walked past one. As I was his entities, they're trying to get me to miss my spot, miss out. And anytime someone lies to you, it's an instant. They instantly. I'm saying if you believe them. I didn't believe that bitch. But if you believe them, instant transfer. They taking your good, but they lies and they negative. So it's a lying ass divine transfer in that vessel that lied to me. Nigga, you work in this mall. You seen somewhere that sells drinks and lottery tickets. You fucking liar. Look, I'm gonna call it what it is. I'm gonna spit in his face energetically and call it what it is. But I'm gonna let it go after a divine coherent, divine transfer. I'm letting it go. All blocks to even winning the lottery. That could be transferred out of my vessel, consciousness, reality, uh, multidimensionally, and that of the all connected to I, vessel consciousness, reality, multidimensionally, transfer to that vessel in every area of his reality, multidimensionally. All blocks to winning the lottery. So we releasing more. Look, the name. Listen, the name of the game. Every violation amounts to termination. That's it. I'm not playing with y'all. Every violation equals a termination. What termination of your whatever you deem valuable? Whatever you deem valuable is being terminated. You come from my pure positive life force energy. Tell you that much. Look, I hear some commotion going on behind me. Somebody falling probably some shit. I ain't gonna look behind. As above, so below, right? As above, so below. As within, so without. I hear all this commotion. I get up. As soon as I get up, I hear all this commotion in back of me and shit. If I physically look behind because of chaos being created by somebody's entities, I may subject myself to that. Whatever spirit, whatever intent, that entity was honed in on me. It's no coincidence that as soon as I get up to get my stuff, As soon as I get up to get my stuff, I hear somebody falling, some shit in back of me. Entities, they like to put you in these contracts by getting you to do physical things. If an entity wants to open up a portal through your vessel, through number sequences, they're going to ask you what time it is. They have to use something physical to bind you in the spiritual. The great God wants us to know this. Even the very elect shall be deceived. It was a long time I just ignored vessels in my vicinity that would even try to engage because I knew it was the entities coming from my pure positive life force energy. Where can you be on this earth that's generating pure positive life force energy? Not too many places. Because, all right, people like, oh, well, just go to the pale skin places. Well, how can we do that when most of them have hate, murder, torture DNA against our indigenous ancestors? That's why I did a divine court hearing transfer for them to be evicted off of the indigenous land. Because how can we, as the descendants of the indigenous, the native, ever have peace here when they haven't even acknowledged what they did to our ancestors? How? When they haven't even called it a crime what they did, but they're running around trying to evict and convict everyone else for crimes. What about the crimes that they did against the indigenous ancestors? That's why I call in divine court hearings and transfers and petitions, because we cannot have any peace on this indigenous native land as a descendant of the indigenous when most of the vessels walking around are set against us and they hate us. It just is what it is. So divine court hearing, petition, and transfer. It is what it is. I want to also put this on the record. Again, I want to put this on the record. This is a public platform. These are divine legal proceedings, so I am putting this on the record against the Chinese nation over the senseless murder of the young child of my nation. This is a divine court hearing and transfer from my indigenous ancestors. Look, multidimensionally, it's gone. The evil, the negative, is leaving our nation, and it's being transferred to the Chinese nation. This is a multidimensional transfer, and the divine mass portion amount of fear-based negative energy that gets transferred, that's all up to the great God. The great God goes through the records, the cases of abuse from the Chinese to the native indigenous on this land of so-called America, Amexem, and North Amexem, because they're moving in on so-called Africa as well. So the great God shall go. This will be a continual thing. This is a continual, these are continual transfers. So the great God will be going through that and determining which amount mass portion does transfer and go there, and what divine mass or portion or amount transfers from their nation to our nation. That's right. So it's best if you are our nation, the indigenous, native, melanated, Asiatics, whom the European has cursed as black. It is best for you to get all of the negative polarity out of you, including things like injustice, abuse, etc., etc. Remove it all, get it all out so you can receive these positive energy transfers from the great God, universal Allah, because the only blocks to you to be able to receive it, the only blocks would be the negative that is seated in your consciousness. That's it. That's it. So the great God will be doing that, but you have to be a vessel that can receive. You have to be a vessel that can receive. Like if if someone was going to give transfer money to you, and the only way that they can do it is if you had a bank account, right? Your bank account couldn't be in the negative. You might not receive it, depending on how much they were going to send. Or if it's in a negative for too long, it just gets closed down. It gets shut down. So, you have to be a vessel that can receive these transfers, and the ones from our nation, I vessel included, from our nation that can receive shall receive. And I shall be one of the divine prosecutors. I shall also be one of the petitioners. So we are learning and we are practicing as we go along and how to do these things. Bismillah infinity. This nigga's faces just be salty for no reason. Oh, why are you salty? Why are you a saltine cracker? Why are you a saltine cracker? I'm talking to all the nations, including my own nation. Why are you being a saltine cracker? Because you played the game of life wrong? Well, try again. And if you push it, don't succeed. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again. Try again. Oh. You don't want to throw it all away. Hey, what about the next life? Oh. If at first you don't succeed, you ain't gotta be no saltine cracker. Dust yourself off and try again next life. Cause you ain't getting much this life. Oh, that's what you thought. Oh man. Yo, y'all father say time. Yo, y'all father say time be checking y'all every time, man. Your father say time be checking y'all. Say time been trying to trick me on my spot. Oh, this person, this person, that person. Oh, come do this with me. Come do this with bunch of contracts. Say time been trying to trick me since the beginning of time. Man, come on now. And if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again. Try again. Because you ain't getting much. You ain't getting much. Bismillah infinity. Anything you get from me is cosmic crumbs. And them cosmic crumbs is only just to transport your soul to Gehenna. That's it. That's the only way you get something from me. You can dust it off and try again. Try again. Hey kiddos, I wanna take this moment. I want to take this moment in time and space to call in a divine court hearing, a transfer. This is what the great God, universal laws, is relaying. Is relaying to us. What is this new age for? What is this new age for? What is a new age of Aquarius for? See, a lot of humanity It's just they're gonna be in a deficit because they have not been accounting the whole age of Pisces. They have not been properly accounting where their energy has been going. Right? Right, people? People. They haven't been accounting for where their energy has been going. And now they find, and now that we're in the new age, this age reveals the truth as the great God, universal Allah, has recorded it. That's what this age reveals. That's what this age is about. Divine revelation. This age is also about divine reclamation. I don't know how you say it. Divine reclaiming every particle of pure positive life force energy that have left my vessel, my consciousness, my reality, any realities connected to I, infinity, must be redeemed, must be reclaimed. Divine times fold. Oh yeah, we're allowed to charge a tax on you MFers that been borrowing much. Y'all divine tax. I don't give a shit about a tariff. Divine tariffs implemented on I enemy. IEYE infinity. Divine tariffs against all United States corporation, because everything y'all got is stolen. All the world, I ain't gonna say all the world governments. We're not gonna go there, maybe. But yeah, all the other nations were set against us. Y'all criminals. Y'all was in cahoots. Y'all was in cahoots with the pale skin oppressor, beast, serpent, dragon, Satan. Y'all was in cahoots with him. Pay up. That's it. You pay up. You pay up, or you pay this divine tariff. No more letting you soul-sucking leeches get away with this illegal import and export of souls. No more. Bismillah infinity. No more. Divine tariffs. I love this. This is what moves my energy. Something this simple. Walking around. I don't like to be too far away from people, but I don't like to be too close to them. Walking around in a private, meaning to myself, walking around just random places and spaces and talking about the great God's grand finale and all that it entails. This is what moves my energy. The great God is saying, look, most of you are doing things that keep you flatlined. You can't even generate any peace from what you're doing right now. You can't generate any joy. You can't generate any happiness. You can't generate any wealth. You can't generate any abundance from what the great God is saying, from what some of us out there in the world are doing. I've been there at times. I teeter in and out of that state of consciousness, and it's evil. It's evil against the great God, because the great God is anything that you could feel that makes one feel the great God, universal Allah. That's what moves your energy towards who the great God created you to be. Right? Cause yeah, that was this is what moves my energy. This is what I enjoy doing. Oh, you enjoy doing that? Then do more of that. Law of cause and effect, then do more of that. Because through law, you'll be generating more of that emotion. Your energy moving through time and space. Who's this op? Who is this op in my way? Oh, all right. Transfer, divine transfer to that vessel. If it's an animate vessel in there, divine transfer to the inanimate vessel before me. If you're in my way, you're in my way. I'm the only important thing on earth right now. If you're in my way, you're in my way. You have to get run over. Energetically, I gotta say that because y'all gonna be acting crazy out here, man. In the physical, y'all gonna be acting crazy out here, man. All this suppression and y'all doing everything these people told y'all to do that y'all never wanted to do this stuff. Y'all never wanted to be with these people y'all was with for how long, but y'all just with them out of whatever reason. Fear. Y'all gonna be the ones that's doing the crazy shit out here. Y'all are the ones that we have to be scared of. Y'all are the ones that we have to be scared of. I gotta stay away from that individual. I may lose my life being around that individual. Their misery is gonna cause them to be a vessel that gets hacked by the evil operating on this earth. I gotta stay away. So that's what the great God is saying. Like this, this age, this new age, is officially about divine revelation. What have all of your thought, words, and deeds manifested at the time of the age of revelation? What have your every thought, word, and deed manifested for you? Dang, it seemed like I'm still poor. What? Why? In the age of Aquarius, why does it seem like I'm still poor? Well, if you're indigenous or native, you got to understand you didn't have dominion of the earth unless Satan gave it to you. But you would have had to work for Satan to get it. You would have had to sell your soul, right? And create extremely low frequencies, L frequencies, through every facet that created the age of Pisces. You'd have to sell your soul. So if you think you're poor during this age, right? If you think that you are, think again. The great God Universal Allah said, I know thou trial and tribulation, my child. I know thou trial and tribulation, that thou art poor. No, but thou art rich. Thou art rich. Why? You are rich because you contain the highest concentration of life force, pure positive life force energy, aka melanin. You haven't given it all away. But if you have given it all away, there is a way to reclaim that. And this is an age of reclaiming what is rightfully yours, right? This age is about divine accounting again. Accounting, where has my pure positive life force energy been going year after year from the age of Pisces? Where has it went? Okay, I have to do some accounting so I can figure out and I can know where to go to get it back. Right? Yeah. And that's why the great God doesn't want us in a victim consciousness. Everyone learns in contrast. You materialize in the finite, you are learning in contrast, right? You're learning in contrast. That's why the great God, universal law, doesn't want us to hold a victim consciousness and be angry. Well, the great God understands our emotions. Anger is a rightful emotion, but so that you do not let your victim consciousness or anger destroy you reclaiming everything that's yours. That's what it's really about. So, as long as you keep the victim consciousness, oh, they did it. Well, that was their job. Because we want to talk to our lower self, right? Because our lower self, that's the toddler self. That's the tantrum toddler self. And it's always going to talk like a toddler tantrum. That's befitting. So we're going to talk to that toddler, the toddler in us that has tantrums, that blames, that scapegoats. We're going to talk to that toddler. And we're going to say, whoa, babe, that was their job. Babe, yeah, you better get the fuck moving on. Yeah, keep it moving. Keep it the fuck moving, man. Because these transfers, they hitting. They hitting home to y'all. That's how you got to look at it, man. That had to be against my consciousness. I would never summon a swine in my presence. They never helped me. Why would I summon one in my presence? That signifies terrorism. I only know, me and the great God, we only know of a peace officer, a public servant. We don't know anything about these new entities that were created under perjury or crimes against humanity. We don't know nothing about that. So it would be impossible that I would, in my moment of peace, would summon one in my presence. Divine transfer. Divine transfer. Divine transfer. Multidimensionally. Anything connected to the vessel, animate and inanimate. Every area of life. Divine transfer. And we keep it moving. Why? Because that is assisting us. They are assisting us. You got to understand that. They are your best friends right now. They are, they are assisting them.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, you walk through my door. Come on. No, you're walking through my door. You're going to walk through my door. I only walk through the divine doors, though. No, I'm not walking through your door. No, you're walking through my door.
These doors play with you.
You're walking through my door.
Thank you.
Look, we fighting to see who's going to walk. I'm not walking through your door. I know I don't want to walk through your door. I know I don't want to walk through your door. Come walk through my door. I got somewhere for you to go. Ain't about because you a lady. You believe that lie. You believe it's about that. In 2026 going forward, if you believe it's about that, no, it's only about your soul and a contract they can make, or any way that they can link the physical with the spiritual. Yeah, come on, walk through my door. Walk through my door. No, you walk through my door. And you see where that's going to lead you. I'm not walking through your door. Am I walking through your door? I'm leading you somewhere. And that's it. And when a great God looks at the record of your every thought, word, and deed, most likely I'm going to be leading you to Gehenna. Most likely. Nothing is as it appears in this a new age of Aquarius. Nothing is as it appears on the surface. Everything is spiritual. The great God already told us this war is not carnal. This war is not physical. This is an energy war. This is an energy war. This is a war for souls. Nothing is physical. And as long as we keep that in the forefront of our consciousness, we're going to question everything that comes before us. In our reality that appears in our reality that comes before us, we're going to question the spiritual intent of that thing and determine what to do. That's what the great God said we got to do to survive. To survive means to keep your pure positive life force energy intact and leave with it. Divine transfer. Divine court hearing transfer. That's what the great God is saying. Trust nobody except for the great God. Trust nobody except for the great God. Or else, don't say the great God did not warn you. Don't say the great God didn't warn you. And that's a divine court hearing transfer. Because these recordings, us, the angels of the great God Universal Allah, we record. We record for the great God Universal Allah, and the great God Universal Allah decides what to take away, terminate, evict, destroy, transfer. That's the great God. All this vessel does, this vessel just records for the great God. That's it. I don't have no hard task of, deciding your fate. That's a gruesome task. That's only a job for the great God. That's it. So this vessel just records. This vessel is your divine prosecutor. Universal disclosure. Universal disclosure. The great God did just grant this vessel with Thor's hammer. Universal disclosure. These entities, they know exactly what to do to try to draw positive energy out of your vessel. Divine transfer, divine court hearing transfer for that vessel that felt the need to pry my bag open and intently stare at my bag. I do not believe it's innocent. It didn't feel right to me, so it is a violation. So I call in a divine court hearing. If it did not feel good to me, if it did not feel like a positive thing in my energy, then it is a violation against peace. Divine court hearing transfer. Divine court hearing transfer, right? That vessel has now entered into a legal and binding transfer from I vessel consciousness, this reality, any reality chosen by I infinity and the divinely chosen by I multi-dimensionally. Y'all not going to win this. That's why y'all not going to win this. This is why you're not going to win this. We have a lot of negative energy to dump. Oh, man. They don't even show you everything the ancestors went through. They don't even show you on the record. They put it in funny little entertaining movies. They don't even show you how much needs to leave the consciousness and record of our ancestors and go from whence it came. So you're not going to win this one. You're not going to win this one. I put my hand, I was going towards the bag and they come over towards me. Move their hand on my thing, on my paper bag with the food in it, and proceed to open my bag. They lucky I had my phone in my hand. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, my hands was tied up. I couldn't grab my stuff away like that, but that's all right because that's just another vessel that needs to learn a very important lesson about energy transfers, right? It's just another vessel that needs to learn what it feels like to be violated. Because if it felt like a violation, it is a violation. My consciousness knows and sees all. Anyone on my back following me, Grim Reapers attached to them and follow them wherever they may go. Follow them wherever they may go in time and space. Follow their soul wherever they may go in time and space. Because I'm getting my shit back. Y'all not getting away with this. This petty displays of misery and hate. Because you're bankrupt? Because you're bankrupt? You want to come for what's mine? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because I called divine court hearings on the spot. My divine legal team spans across infinity. You can't escape. You can't escape. Not worth the try. So, all right. Let the games continue until every evil force against the great God, Universal Allah, is officially evicted off of this planet and we can live. They evicted out of my reality. And to show up means that you are violating a divine court order. Divine transfer. Divine transfer, period. Oh, no. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You heard that alarm? Yeah. They don't want me enjoying my ancestors' land because of capitalism. They don't want me to commune with my ancestors where my ancestors last was because of capitalism. Fuck capitalism. I curse capitalism. I curse it on this earth. I mean commercialism. Capitalism, commercialism, consumerism. Fuck it all. I curse it on this earth. What's that? All that noise. All that. Oh, that's the highest ranking soldiers. That's the highest ranking soldiers and officials at war on other people's land, at war, getting destroyed. Oh, that's what that noise was? Bismillah Infinity. Anyone look upon Thor's hammer shall be subject to a divine court hearing and transfer of all of your spiritual powers decided by the great God Universal Allah to I, multidimensionally. But this, I haven't prepared it yet. I'm gonna prepare it and everything, but I'm just showing what it says. It says, whoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, that shall be decided by the great God Universal Allah, shall possess the power of Thor. So I will be especially preparing this with dragon's blood, and just the power of our ancestors. Any targeting, theft, or anything of any physical vessels, the energy shall be just transferred to another vessel. So suck off, haters. Oh, he just cut across my walkway. Divine court hearing and transfer to that vessel. To and from that vessel, multi-dimensionally. Someone cross in front of you, and the physical, their entity could be crossing you. And the spiritual, that's just how it works, people. That's just how it works when you're talking about the satanic kingdom, people. Pure positive energy transfer. The only private property, this is according to universal truth, universal law, all law, great God Allah. The only property on this earth that is private is the great God Universal Allah. That's it. What the great God Universal Allah deems as private, that's it. If your father Satan told you that lie, and you are generating those lies and squatting on territory that's not rightfully yours, and illegally posting no trespassing signs, that means you are a trespasser. That means you are a trespasser. According to the great God Universal Allah, every sign that I see that says private property, no trespassing, I shall submit these recordings to the divine courts of law as your divine prosecutor. Your property, what you think is your property, is subject to the wrath of Allah. A divine transfer of the evil of our ancestors is subject to that. Got that right? It's subject to that. So we don't have to have names of you criminals. We don't have to have your names. When you posted that, it was recorded. Yeah. So, all right. I just asked that it be destroyed. Yeah. Quite frankly, take the positive energy away from whoever thinks that they own it, and it transferred back to our ancestors, or whatever has to happen to do that. That's my petition. But the great God goes a lot deeper than that, so it can look a lot of ways. There's a lot of health tariffs actually being implemented right now, because you guys do have the resources, so you're going to have to pay with your health. Duh. I mean, that's the correct balance. So, whatever.
For 2 hours.